Well, today we're going to need to know about more of the styles that we have of managing different things, because it's an important detail in all the companies. And well, in this case, we're going to study like three different styles. Let us start with the dressing style that Julian Chu wants to do. He tends to be like really direct with you. He wants you to know the instructions, he makes sure that you know it, so that's a positive side. But then you have to do it almost immediately. So that's a way of making the employees more capable, but at the same time it's like too direct, maybe there's some things that you can be like slower and stuff, and that depends basically on the people, but I think it's too like direct. When they tend to like decide the goal basically, they make a good example, and then they make the decision of making that person work in that specific thing that he requested. So when well the problems start to happen, the decisions, the manager is the one that makes all the decisions. Employees don't really get a response in a good side in that regard. And well, but the end they do what every manager does, like they monitor the performance and know which kind of problem they really do, because you have to have that style. And I think Julian Chu really doesn't. I feel like he has a good point, but I think you need to listen more to the employees, because well they're the ones that design the whole company if you think about it. So making this the direct style, Julian number two, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Though, like I said, like it's a good improvement on the performance, but it has its different factors like I said, depending on the people, he may be less patient, or maybe he's not that good at explaining though that may contradict a bit the style, but it depends on the person, the manager basically. He does all the calls. And now with a most open style, if I say so myself, is the discussing style. In this, basically, the managers, it's the key fragment of this style is that it's discussing. Like everyone in a table, for example, can give their ideas, make them listen to one another. The manager is there; he can hear all the people around the table, and come to a conclusion based of that communication, that things need to be changed, or give new ideas about like how you manage some stuff. But here the key principle is that you actually listen to the employees. You need to make obviously the right questions. If maybe your team is too large, maybe you can have a lot of problems in this case, because maybe you can't get work done because everyone is talking all the time, or giving ideas too different for one another, and will make the final decision all scrambled basically. You don't really have like a comment on it, but you're going to be at the end of the day making an individual option that perhaps nobody enjoys, or some people do, like 70%, and the 30% don't like it, or it could be like 90% don't like it, and you can have a lot of problems. Really make the people wonder about that decision making. But it all comes to how many people and how do you discuss it. You can have all informal in communication, because you won't get anywhere. Though honestly, managers do tend to the communication, so they can also provide the ideas and everything. And at the end, they need to monitor the performance, like every other manager. But this style is more open, like I said. So Julian Tree does really have a point, but let's see what the other style can get us. And we go with the delegation style that Julian number three wants to do, which is more like, I think it relates to the first style, but this one is like putting even more pressure on the employees, like they communicate, they explain the details, but they give it too much responsibility, that if the employee or the person in charge of doing that specific task doesn't do it, they get a good ear talk, because the responsibility and authority are given to employees to get the job done, and that can have a lot of issues, you know. If maybe you give the decision of, you know, making that exact person do that task and he doesn't do it, you're gonna have a lot of issues that can even, you know, impact other employees that does get the job done, but he doesn't. They can make like a bad, you know, a bad start to a process, or maybe even ruin the whole thing basically if the one person doesn't do it. Personally, I don't think that Julian number four really knows what he's doing, because I think this style is too direct. You know, like he gets like, oh, it doesn't work, not my problem. It's the employee. He doesn't do his job. So I think that's kind of bad. Though, well, I can see the point that, you know, the additional communication that it needs to be accomplished that specific task, and, you know, try to talk your way out of the obstacles that may prevent. I think it's too direct, basically, too free for the manager. So, as a solution, as Julian number one, myself, I think I'm going with the discussing style, because I think as a person I make the best manager, because I know the details of discussing. I know how to, you know, point to everyone and really get to know them, because I think that the principal point of this is that we know each other. You know, it's like we are a team after all. So I think it's a good idea that in the discussing style that we all talk, we all learn about all the facts that need to talk, all the brain power basically. You know, one person disagrees, I'm going to try my best to try and understand every one of them. And I'm going to make them do like a formal talk, not like everyone give ideas to blah blah blah. No, I think the main point of this is teamwork, and that's one of the principles that we must do as management. You know, I think I will do the best out of all three. You know, because I also think that I'm the right person, because I have a lot of patience. But at the same time, I'm going to be direct if something doesn't agree, like in group, or maybe I don't like, because at the end of the day, I'm going to manage this in the best way possible I can. So I think I'm going to be the best manager, and my style, the discussing style, is going to be the best one. Thanks for watching.